Prosecutors attempted to present the new judge with evidence in order to have YNW Melly released from prison. A member of the Raw Go block was given a startling surprise by YNW Melly during an interview. Melly would have brought Sakchaser and Juvy out of the sack at Melly's request, which makes sense given the close bond between King Von and Von before Melly's incarceration and Von's death. King Von gives tips on how to deal with having your two best buddies chase you for money.
Von really tell you that Melly told him that he was two friends?
He ain't come out and say, like, we got into an argument. And so, you know, if you know, when people can say something without saying it. And so he told me, like, once I posted what I posted, Von was mad at me, bro. Why you put that, bro? Go out the bam. I'm like, you sitting up here, like, you know the love we got. You do this for us, but you gonna trust that his two friends? And he said, them was trying to extort him. And so I'm like, if they was trying to extort him, then why you still?
Through the bank account, YNW Melly and Borland made money by selling goods, promoting businesses, and performing at local events under the name YNW, which is authorized as a business LLC. Each of the four YNW members of Melly, Borland, Sakchaser, Juvy, and Sakchaser then received a quarter of the proceeds. Additionally, Sakchaser and Juvy believed YNW Melly was unwilling to divide the money in four ways, so they turned to King Von's counsel to resolve the matter. However, Melly's post-crime actions make him appear incredibly guilty because he faces life in prison for the murders of Sakchaser and Juvy. In addition to, he and YNW Borland will be sentenced to life in jail for their attempts to conceal the incident and witness tampering, respectively.
Charges against Demons and two others who were allegedly involved. The charges include tampering with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal, solicitation or conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Now, a couple of those charges actually carry a life in prison sentence if there's a...
According to the prosecution, Melly has been calling people in his detention cell, asking them to call his ex-girlfriend to try to get her to not testify against him in court. By revealing the code phrases he used to convince his ex-girlfriend not to testify against him at trial, Melly's father further affirmed the truth in an exclusive interview.
This kind of crazy way that Melly was communicating. He wasn't allowed to use the phone, but he was passing notes to people, and then this person's calling this person and then that person.
Saying, like, to me, they going through extreme measures, trying to cover up or convince people not to testify, like Mariah mom. They was using code words like Rihanna and A$AP Rocky's baby mom.
The evidence has been made public, and if Melly is found guilty of this conduct alone, she will be sentenced to life in jail. Details: it makes clear why YNW Melly has endured such appalling treatment in a correctional facility. Melly's mother claimed in an interview that her son hasn't gained enough notoriety to be on the verge of being released from prison because he was permitted to use a phone and even read his own mail while behind bars.
My son has not been convicted of anything, and even other inmates that have been convicted or anything, they have the right to use a telephone. They have a right to just to be allowed to write letters to their loved ones, to receive their mail. They hold his mail. They don't.
Nevertheless, they had to preserve the evidence in case it turned out that YNW Melly used cell phones to tamper with witnesses, which is why they denied him access to them. Jamie would not simply be prohibited from using the phones until the trial started if the police suspected him of manipulating witnesses. They therefore had concrete proof. Since her child was not even receiving humane treatment in a prison, King felt helpless and devastated.
You saw Melly's statement, just saying how he's been hurt, how he's scared for his life. As a mother, how did that make you feel?
It's heartbreaking. It made me feel completely helpless. Broward Sheriff's Office definitely needs to be investigated. I mean, they are making up their own rules. We've tried to go to court about this situation. The judge really doesn't have any jurisdiction when it comes to the jail, because we actually had a hearing about the mistreatment of him, and the jail they make their own rules. And I don't think that's fair, because I know that they need to answer.
But this also garnered a lot of media attention, particularly from experts, as Charleston White would respond that this is how W. Melly ought to live. Maybe getting preferential treatment because of his notoriety as a rapper, despite the fact that he is charged with one of the most heinous crimes conceivable.
The YNW Melly. I'm so happy he in jail getting mistreated. Yeah, I'm so happy he in jail getting mistreated, homie. Homie, when you take a life, homie, you ain't got a right to complain about a motherfucking thing, about being mistreated. When you done chose to play somebody.
And it would attract a boy who would talk about the conflict Jamie King is facing.
She real, bro. You know, she real.
He's stressed out. I heard she had a...
Yeah, she real, and I reached my hand out to him, cause I'm real. Yeah, I reached out to him, bro. I met his mom, and she a good.
However, the emotions progressively subsided as his trial hearing proceeded this week. Let me explain why Melly's initial hearing revealed his genuine emotions as he entered the courtroom, looking rather irate and without a haircut, but his manner rapidly changed as soon as the judge began discussing his release from custody. It would be up to Melly to decide what to do. The fact that he has remained in our jail for 2,159 days after choosing his attorney surprises Melly and the rest of us.
Let me repeat myself. Mr. Demons has to make an informed decision about who he wants as lawyers. He's now been sitting in our jail for 2,159 days. So, how long would you like to be able to make that decision?
I can't determine when the investigation will be over. That's up to the Broward Sheriff's Office. But I can, as I said, I'm just asking for a week. And then I'm asking for at least a day or two.
You will decide that tomorrow. I've also reserved all of it.
Even the court was surprised to learn that Melly had been held for 2,159 days, so he told them that if they were to release him on bond, the feds would make their last defense of why he shouldn't be released by tomorrow. There was evidence on YNW Melly's cell phone that he confessed to the crime in a text message sent hours after it happened.
Easy Gambino account asked him if he was okay, and his response was, "I did that," and placed a smiley face emoji.
And the next message from 10/26/2018 at 16:02 from Eastern Standard Time. The YNW Melly account says what?
After that, SHH.
There was also a preserved video from someone's Facebook Live on Melly's cell phone, which demonstrated how she and Borland handled the matter just 6 hours after it was committed.
Melly still turned regardless of what happened this early morning. He's still out here being very positive. Turned still. Hey! No, still turned, regardless of what happened. You already know.
In Melly's initial trial, W. Borland provided previously unheard of evidence by drawing on a piece of paper that was wedged into a juror's chair. Last week, when federal agents raided his house, they discovered Hugh Borland in a bag. Photos of purported notes obtained during the home inspection are shown here. List the specifics of each juror's attendance at Melly's initial trial on a piece of paper.
Co-defendant YNW Borland was booked into a Miami jail Monday night and is being held behind bars on an out-of-county warrant. We just confirmed the warrant is out of Broward County for witness tampering. The warrant obtained by Law and Crime Network states as follows. On or about April 10, 2023, continuing through and including July 22, 2023, Cortland Henry, aka Bortland, along with others, did unlawfully and knowingly engage in misleading conduct toward another person with the intent to cause or induce them to withhold testimony. The warrant continues the alleged witness had been summoned by the legal process to the jury trial of Jamel Demons, aka YNW Melly. The dates in the warrant are important. Jury selection for Melly started in mid-April, and a judge declared a mistrial on July 22nd, the same day the warrant claims Bortland allegedly tampered.
Borland only spent 1 day at the first trial because prosecutors utilized this highly illegal method of juror concealment during a trial against Moreland and Melly. Since even DJ Academics was astonished to see this because it shouldn't be in your home, they are attempting to demonstrate to the new judge the kind of people these two young men are.
Keep it real, this is sloppy. Portland, how the f you gonna have the notebook of the jurors in your house? Holy sh! Like, come the f on. It's like doing a and having the surveillance tape in your DVD player or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. Like they raid your crib and the surveillance footage of the is in your DVD player. Like, oh, okay, thank you, brother. This can't be it. Yo.
In the end, the judge decided not to free YNW Melly from custody because of this. But Melly's attorneys would now have a defense that YNW Melly was using GPS data to watch Melly run down a street and duck into a bush while the crime was being committed, and that Melly was texting his ex-girlfriend in real time during the initial trial.
The part where he's saying that someone just shut the car up and was trying to shoot them. So I asked him if he was okay, where he was, and he's like, there's a car coming behind him, like hiding. He was like, there's some, yeah, there's some, I think they're still out here or something. So I'm like, are you okay? He's like, I'm okay. I said, well, where are Sak and Juvy? And he said, I don't know if they're in the car. I think they're...
In the Melly trial, the prosecution acknowledged that the vehicle that was pursuing Melly was allegedly transporting rival street people, was never even discovered carrying a pistol, which raises the possibility of a drive-by, as Melly mentioned.
So the first thing is I didn't have a firearm, so I can't know which I'm going to use in order to replicate any of my tests. So I can't make tests for this determination because I don't know what was used.
Sadly, this wouldn't be sufficient to free Melly from prison because the prosecutors would eventually provide extremely specific details about the offense, and the reason YNW Melly would have done it, as Sergeant Williams used plastic sticks to probe the automobile they were in order to get the truth. Everything matched exactly where YNW Melly was sitting, including the holes from the guns being used and the drive-in.
Number, you said 17 outside the car. How many rounds were inside the car?
3.
And can you exclude the for Mr. Williams and Mr. Thomas is coming from outside of the car?
Yes. From the driver's side back seat.
As to not the Christopher Thomas, where did that come from?
Driver's side back seat.
No. Is it possible for there to have been 2 inside that car?
No.
Why not?
There is no time which is to determine if this is a driver. And my determination was that this is not a drive-by. And it's based upon this picture here, which is a very good picture to describe it. All of these rounds are done. One is done at a stationary position. At a stationary position when all but one of these rounds are going in. The one round that has some movement in it, which is round site L here, the actually moved.
To complete the transaction, YNW Juvy's mother would then testify and name the man seated in the back left seat, whom Sergeant Williams had been identifying as the offender.
Can you state your name, your full legal name for the jury?
I'm Leon Phillips.
Okay. And are you related to one of the victims in this case?
Yes, I am.
How so?
I'm his mother.
And who is that?
Christopher Thomas.
Ms. Phillips, did you see who entered into the occupants who entered into that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Do you recognize where your son entered that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Which seat, if you can identify for the jury?
He got in the back seat on the right hand side.
Did you recognize the individual that got into the back seat on the left side, the rear driver's side?
Yes.
And who was that individual?
Janelle.